Hey everybody, it's Sean from Retaliation, and in this edition of Bathroom Books, we've got some doozies. Once a week, I do a video of 7 interesting books that I've come across that I found interesting because they're either worth a lot of money, the subject matter intrigues me, or it reminds me of a book or some aspect of my past. So this week, we've got some doozies, and I'll just get into it. The first one is Penis Pokey. Okay? This book is actually the only book of the 7 that I'm going to go through that's worth some money, and it's worth like $3, $3.50. But those are some tidy whitey underwear on the front, and it's called Penis Pokey because, well, there's some pictures, and there's a hole, and you stick something through the hole and then take pictures. A monkey with a banana, the head of a snake, a firefighter's nozzle, a giant worm, an alien. Yeah, I almost want to use gloves when I touch this book, but it sells for $9.95 new. So, and it's actually got a really high e-score, and it sells a lot of copies. I'm hopeful that it's a joke, and that people don't really take it seriously. I did hear of some female photographer, I think in New York, and she was tired of getting pictures of men's junk that they were sending to her when they were trying to get a date, and she decided that she would take pictures of men's junk for a fee and sort of dress said subject up with hats and different clothing that she made in case they wanted to send it to other people. So she did end up seeing men's junk, but she got paid for it, and, you know, I guess she was able to make a living off of it for a while. Crazy stories, but hey, you know, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. All right? So if that book didn't scare me enough, we have A is for Activist. This is like a cardboard kid's book, and it's very scary because I think this person took this really seriously. A is for activist, advocate, abolitionist, ally, actively answering a call to action. Are you an activist? You know, whatever happened to L is for lion, M is for moon, S is for sunflower? Okay, here in this book, we have, for the letter L, LGBTQ. Love who you choose, because love is true. Liberate your notions of limited emotions. Celebrate with pride our links of devotion. No, L is for lion. Okay? I get it. I'm a gardener. I've worked with creative people. I had a supervisor, trans individual, nice guy, no problems, but this is a children's book. And if I want them to think that L is for LGBTQ, I will let them know. But that's my choice. That's not anybody else's choice. I'm their parent, and I'm not a parent. And before you say, oh, it's a good thing that you don't have kids, hey, man, or woman, as it goes, I don't care. So that's it. I don't have issues with anybody's orientation, anybody's politics, anyone's skin color, whether they like dogs or cats. Okay? I basically only have a problem with people who have a problem with me. So I basically kind of get along with almost everybody. Let's see. T. T is for trans. For trains, tiaras, tulips, tractors, and tigers too. Trust in the true, the he, she, they, that is you. Okay? T is for train. Okay? That's how I see it. All right. Are you still with me? All right. This is an interesting book. Luscious. And there's the backside of a naked woman. And the part that you might not be able to read is stories of anal eroticism. Okay. This is an interesting book. Unfortunately, it's not worth anything. It's not worth any money. At least on Amazon. But a lot of books in what I call gay studies, that is a very lucrative category. So if you ever come across any books about sexuality, women's sexuality, men's sexuality, the author Baldwin, I forget his first name, from New York, that can be highly lucrative. This book is kind of funny because I got it for a woman that I got 2 or 3 shipments of books from her. Or not shipments, but I went and picked up a couple of collections. She was married, and she and her husband were moving back east. And she was a psychiatrist, did a lot of men's psychiatry. So there was a lot of psychiatry books. There were some Dungeons and Dragons books, so she played like D&D. And there were like 2 or 3 anal eroticism books. So I just find that interesting. So, every time I think of her, I just kind of have to smile. And, you find out a lot about people from their book collections. But there you go. Luscious. Stories of anal eroticism. If that's your thing, check it out. If it's not your thing, just smile and move on, I guess. 4th book. Linda was like, are you sure you want to include this? And yes, and I picked it out for a reason. And, okay. This is Black Like You. And the person on the front is wearing blackface. It's a white person wearing blackface. This book, however, is about blackface, whiteface, the opposite of a black person who wears whiteface, to portray a white person, insult and imitation in American popular culture. This book wasn't worth a lot on Amazon. This is an uncorrected proof. And you get uncorrected proofs. I get them kind of fairly often. They're books that people get. Their advanced reader copies or uncorrected proof. People get the book, they read it. If they find something that needs to be changed, they'll notate it, send it back to the publisher, or alert the publisher. They correct it. Maybe it gets a new cover. It gets a barcode, which this one doesn't have. But this will tell you that it's, not for sale. It'll tell you how much it's going to sell for, and when it's going to come out. So a few pictures in this, and there's some quotes on the back. Let's see, a refreshingly clear-headed and taboo-breaking look at race in American popular culture, from Jim Crow, Aunt Jemima, and Buckwheat to Eminem, Shirley Q. Licker, and Dave Chappelle, with an afterword by Darius James. So, Black Like You, there you have it. 4th book is The 1,000-Mile Summer in Desert and High Sierra by Colin Fletcher. Colin Fletcher wrote a lot of camping books. My dad read them. There was like The Complete Walker. And Colin Fletcher was a writer, and he lived in Carmel Valley, at least for a while. My dad had an alarm company and did the alarm system for his house. And one day I'm with my dad. He's like, oh, you know what? I got to check. I got to go by this guy's house and check it. It's like, oh, hey, it's Colin Fletcher. You remember I've got some of his books? And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, I want you to come with me, but there's something you need to know. He's used to being out in the world, in the environment, in nature, and sometimes he's not an exhibitionist, but sometimes he just doesn't wear clothes and just goes au natural. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was young and I learned a lot from my dad. He had a dinner theater, so, a lot of gay people in the theater. He explained that to me, that homosexuality, as far as my dad concerned, was it's fine, especially amongst two people that love each other. Could be a man and a man, a woman and a woman, but that's not anything to freak out about. You know, as long as two people love each other and care about each other, it's all good in the world. Okay. He also had a friend, white man, black woman. I learned about interracial relationships. That was totally cool. Linda, if you haven't figured out, is not from the U.S. She's from a foreign country. Love her a lot. I think I'm in California. I think 1 out of 9 couples is interracial. So, I wasn't really freaked out about that, but I was like, why is my dad taking me to some place where the guy is like running around naked though? You know, I was like, I get that you might not want to wear clothes, but like, why am I going to have to deal with this? And I think it was just because we were running an errand. I think my dad forgot that he was supposed to go by and just check on something, but we went, I met him. He had clothes on. It was all good. He happens to be a Giants fan, and I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. My mom and I were both Giants fans. My dad was a Dodger fan. And Colin Fletcher was quite happy to find out that I liked the Giants. I think when we got there, he said, oh, yeah, hey, do what you got to do, but I can't miss the Giants game. And I remember that, I want to say Robert Nepper. I think that was the pitcher. And I knew who that was. I mean, this was, 40 years ago, so forgive me if I don't quite recall everything now. But anyway, I knew who that was, and he was quite impressed, and we were kind of became friends for the, 2 minutes I was there. So anyway, there you have it. The 1,000-mile summer. I wish this was worth some money, but it's not. But that's my Colin Fletcher story about, naked men and baseball. Also, we have Russian criminal tattoos. And I saw, there was some movie with Vig. There was a Married to Exene Cervenka of X. And he plays some undercover agent, and he's got all the Russian tattoos. This is about kind of jail tattoos. They're really interesting, and they're ornate. And I sort of question how people actually tattoo these, especially in prison, but I guess they have a way. Some of them are a lot of phallic symbols. There's a sort of you got a dancing bear and a guy on a polar bear or on a Russian bear. But there's some where they call it a passive homosexual or something. I didn't quite get it, but I didn't really want to look at the pictures of male genitalia to kind of find out what they were talking about, because that's not really my thing. But I am intrigued by Russian criminal tattoos. So here's a book. Not worth selling on Amazon, but interesting book to have. So we'll end on a different note. We'll end on You Can't Lie to Me, which is a book by Janine Driver, lie detection expert for the FBI, CIA, and ATF. And it's all about lying and how to tell if somebody is lying to you. And, you can use that for your business relations, for your personal relations, and what have you. So there we have it. You Can't Lie to Me. Wish it was worth some money, but it's not. Russian criminal tattoo. Colin Fletcher's The 1,000-Mile Summer. Black Like You. And the reason why I think it's called Black Like You is there's a movie and a book called Black Like Me about an individual that went through the South as a white man, and then he dyed his skin. He got some treatments under heat lamps and darkened his skin, and went back through the same places as a black man, looking black, and he was treated totally different. They made a movie about it. I don't know if he won the Pulitzer for it, but they made it into a movie. He ended up dying, I think, of skin cancer. But it was sort of his look at the South and race relations, and I think this is sort of a homage to that. So this is Black Like You. Luscious Stories of Anal Eroticism. The very disconcerting A is for Activist book, which appears to be a children's book, which scares me. As well as Penis Pokey, which I get it's a joke, but it's one that, I don't find too funny. There you have it. Okay, 7 books for the week. Tell me what you think. I really want to know. Please leave a comment, watch it to the end, and all that fun stuff. Okay, thanks. Bye.